Hi, it's Nina with Parish Learning Zone. Thank you so much for joining me for our weekly Wednesday webinar. Today I was thinking about what to talk about during this webinar, and during the week, as I've been talking to other teachers and friends who are also parents, the topic that keeps coming up over and over again is how do we prepare for the school year when we don't know what this school year is going to look like. So I decided that that is what I would talk about today. How do we prepare for the upcoming school year when we have no idea what the school year starting in August or September, depending on where you live, will look like? As I've listened to parents and talked with friends who are parents and teachers, this seems to be something that we're all thinking a lot about and that we're all sort of anxious about, and a question that everyone's trying to answer right now. So I thought that we could take some time today to discuss this question, and I would love, if you've joined us today, I would love to hear your questions and comments. And we're going to do this, since I think it's a big topic, we're going to do this as part of a series. So today is part one of the series on how do I prepare for the school year when I'm not quite sure what the school year will look like. I've been thinking a lot about this because obviously with our business, being a tutoring business, this is something that I need to think about. And I'm also a parent to two children who attend public schools. And so, like you, I'm curious what this coming school year will look like for all of us. Right now, I think that what we'll do for this series is we'll be focusing on what we can do now as parents and teachers with the concrete information that we do know about the coming school year and research-based strategies that we can use. So that's what I'll be presenting here in this series. And today our focus is going to be on staying current in reading and math and writing. Because no matter what you decide to do as a parent or a teacher this coming school year, and no matter what the format or structure of school turns out to look like, we will still need students that are ready for their current grade level of reading, math, and writing. And so what we know from the research that's been done so far is, and they're terming it with all sorts of little cute nicknames. I use cute in quotation marks because it's really not cute at all. But all sorts of little nicknames like the COVID slide and things like that. But what we're really seeing is that there is, similar to normally during the summertime, there is a learning loss that has taken place during the gaps in school due to the coronavirus. And so as teachers, of course, we want to focus on how we can address that learning loss. And as parents, we all have our concerns on how to keep our students ready for the upcoming school year and prevent as much as possible that learning loss while also dealing with a pandemic. So there's really, only so much that I think as parents and teachers can handle, and we can't be too hard on ourselves and have to just do the best that we can given the situation. The research so far is showing us that studies estimate that in reading compared to previous years, students will come into this current school year with 70% of the learning gains in reading that they normally would have. And the picture for math is somewhat worse, as it usually is with the summer learning loss. But this year, due to the COVID learning loss, students will come to their math class with 50% of the learning that they would normally have in math from the previous school year. So we're seeing quite significant learning loss due to the gaps in instruction. And so this is something that we're entering into the new school year with. Although it is present, it's certainly not a reason to panic or, to feel despair, because it is still manageable and something that teachers are used to preparing for after the summer. And so what we are doing at Parish Learning Zone to support parents and teachers is that studies have shown that what works best is, what they're suggesting is that parents and teachers and the community work together to address these needs, especially in mathematics. So what Parish Learning Zone is currently offering is we are offering free assistance. We're offering free tutoring and free workshops to get ready for the school year at no cost and with no strings attached. And I talked about that a little bit last week. And I know that we are all a little bit jaded from previous free offers that we have participated in or maybe heard about. However, this really is free, and we won't be there will be no nagging, or there will be no sales pitch. There will be nothing like that. It is just 2 free individual tutoring sessions, or students instead can opt for 2 free workshops that usually amount to about 6 hours of free instruction to get ready for the school year. And the cool thing about the individual tutoring, if you were to choose to do that, is that students and parents have access to a recorded version of the session so that afterwards they can continue to use and review those strategies that they worked on with the tutor. Another consideration that's heavy on our mind here at Parish Learning Zone, and also is something for teachers to consider as we enter the new school year, that relates to staying current in reading, math, and writing skills, is the battle over acceleration versus remediation. So a lot of times our first impulse is to say, students are behind, we should remediate them, meaning we should just go back and reteach them everything that they've missed. And time again, this has proven to not move us forward. So the approach that we're taking at Parish Learning Zone, and what research has proven to be effective in this sort of situation, of course we haven't had the coronavirus before, but there's been other natural disasters and things that have caused schools to close and students to get behind. And in those situations in the past, the most effective instruction to catch students up, number one, first of all, teachers and parents need to be trained and made aware of ways that they can identify the skills that students haven't mastered. So something that we're focusing on here is in each of our workshops, and always through our individual tutoring sessions, we offer diagnostic tests, or in a shorter workshop, ways to identify information that students may have missed. Because if we don't know what's missing, of course we can't address it. And that's going to be different for every student. And there are going to be some, in this situation, probably commonalities in what students have missed. The second thing that is important is that we need to focus instruction on grade level skills, but scaffold and support that instruction with targeted prerequisite skills. So what I mean here, and the way that we are approaching instruction in our getting ready for the school year workshops that we're offering for math subjects, is that we are teaching skills that students will need for their current grade level, but we're realizing that there may be some prerequisite skills that they don't have that they missed last school year. And so we're teaching those prerequisite skills along with the current grade level skills. And we feel like that gives the teaching of the prerequisite skills purpose, and students can see the reason why they're doing it. And so unlike traditional remediation, where students tend to be bored and they tend to feel like they're going way back and being taught like, a younger student, when we start with the grade level skills and we build in the scaffolds and supports that students need to be able to access those grade level skills, we're giving students the tools that they need in order to be successful. And so this is how you'll find information presented in individual tutoring and in our workshops at Parish Learning Zone. And I'm going to attach a blog. I'll put it here in the comments. So after this talk, if you're interested in looking at some more information about the research concerning the research that I'm referencing here, or how to claim the 2 free individual tutoring sessions, or the free workshops, I will put all of those links here. And then the last thing that I'm going to link here, if you want some, as a parent, some information about how to keep your students learning over the summer, we have done a series of blogs and videos on reading comprehension strategies, summer learning from home, project-based learning, and ideas for students who need a little extra support in math, reading, and writing. And so we have those videos and those blogs here, and we one of my intents here with our blog and our live webinar series is to offer some free support to parents and to teachers who are trying to help students catch up and trying to support their students in learning from home. So I will link those free resources and videos here. I hope that you find them helpful. And thank you so much for joining us for the weekly Wednesday webinar. I hope that next week you'll join us too, and that you'll leave your comments and questions here below the video or below the blog that's written up on our website on this same topic. And next week, we will be discussing, as a part 2 to this series, embracing digital learning, as I don't feel like even if we go back in person, it is completely going to go away. So learning to embrace and prepare for digital learning will be our topic for next week. Thank you so much for joining us, and I hope that you have a good rest of your Wednesday. See you next week.